morning, good afternoon, good everything. Hello. Uh, I decided to stream a little bit today. More so just to yap a little bit, so you guys know I'm alive. I'm still alive. I was hoping to do something else during the middle of the week. I thought you abandoned us. I did, Ignacio. I did. I was half dead. Oh my gosh. At work, there was some changes that were done because there are people who like to complain. But the thing is that they decided to do those changes the week that I'm mainly working rather than the week that they're working, the people who was complaining. And so there has been a lot of kinks at work, and I was kind of dying. There you are, there I am, here I am. And you know what, funny enough, so at work I usually have a difficult work week and then something that's a lot lighter the next week, so it alternates pretty consistently. So I know like, oh hey, this week is gonna be a bad week, this week is gonna be a good week. So that's why I ended up kind of putting it into the lore, like the reason why I am able to isekai into this world, into the cafe, and kind of go back and forth between my world and this world is kind of technically based off of my work schedule, because sometimes I am able to be around a lot, and sometimes I end up going MIA for almost a whole week. Thought you bit the dust. I felt like I did. It surely felt like it. Like I have not touched a game. Okay, mine is Love in Deep Space, but I always open that for dailies, at least every single day for like the past year and a half, so that one doesn't count. But I have not touched a game. I had not done anything that entertaining game wise for like the past week. But so at work I do a lot of training. Actually for the past like half a year or so I've been doing a lot of training, so my trainees are pretty good this week and they were so nice. They ended up buying me some banana matcha. Not true gamer energy. I have no energy. There's no gamer energy because there's no energy left. But they didn't know I have a low-key addiction to certain drinks, and they're like, oh hey, we were gonna get something to drink, do you want something? And generally because they're trainees, they don't make a lot of money, and so usually being the trainer, I'm usually the one that goes, you know, hey, I'll grab coffee or food for the team, like what do you guys want? But today they're like, well actually we were just gonna get it for you, we didn't ask you so that you would pay for us. I'm like, no, give me the bill. But they didn't, so they got me a banana matcha. It was really nice of them, and I haven't had it in a really long time, so I was quite excited about it. But I also told them that I have this low-key addiction. Thank you very much for for feeding into my addiction. Speaking of addiction, sweet trainees, they really are, and they're quite on top of it too, because like I have to, very much everything that they do is my responsibility. So it's really nice that they're sweet and they're on top of things. But speaking of addiction, we'll talk about this a little bit too, but I started reading this book. I'm low-key getting addicted to it. But on top of that, it's gonna be my niece's birthday soon, and I think I'm actually off for her birthday. I just got her a gift because she's one of those spoiled kids, and so if they rob a bank, it's your fault, kinda. Anything they do on the clock is my fault. So they decide to rob a bank on the clock, it's my fault. So if they're gonna do it, it has to be after a certain time. I don't know, like I know we've talked about Pokemon a lot, but was there ever like any like childhood toy, like not necessarily a game, but like a toy that you guys really liked? Because I remember there were certain ones that like my sister and I really wanted, but our parents refused to get for us. So now that my niece is turning 7, we're like, what should I get her? Because she's also the type who like she's doing really well in school, and she's like the only grandchild on our side of the family, so she's pretty spoiled, and there's always enough excuses to buy her gifts, whether it is Christmas, she got straight A's, you know, there's so many reasons. And so this kid, it's not like she doesn't have a lot of toys, right? Like she has a lot of toys. And it gets to the point where like sometimes when we take her somewhere, we're like, is there anything you want? She's like, oh, I guess I could use this or I could use that, sure. But she's not like excited about a toy, right? She's kind of spoiled. We're working on it. And so when it's coming up to her birthday though, like there's no way, trying to be the favorite auntie, there's no way I wouldn't get her a gift, right? But at the same time, I think because she's kind of used to getting a decent amount of toys, I think she also just cares about like time, just like experience with her auntie. And so my sister's like, how about you, like we go and I don't know, go shopping with her, like have a girls' day with her, right? So I'm like, okay, we could do that, but then also I want to kind of give her something tangible. So I got her an Easy Bake Oven. As a kid, I remembered looking at the Easy Bake Oven and I really, really wanted it. But our parents, like, I don't think they knew exactly what an Easy Bake Oven is or was. So I think they were too worried that we'd end up burning ourselves. Although I think now I've heard that they essentially cook things or bake things with a really hot light bulb. So I think the chances of that happening, of like burning ourselves, is pretty low. So I got her the Easy Bake Oven, and when it arrived at her house, like it wasn't in a box, it was just outside, like in its own box. And so there's a picture of it and it's colorful, and she's just staring at it going like, mommy, can I open it? So I'm excited. I'm happy that she's excited about it. I'm just worried that the second that she opens it, she's not gonna care about it anymore. But I'm excited to at least play it for her. I don't know if I bought it more so for her or more so for me. iPad kids smack my head. What do you mean iPad kids? Are you an iPad kid? I never had an iPad growing up. I have an iPad now, honestly. I think I prefer just going on my phone with it. And I think even like with the kiddos, I think they just prefer the phone over their iPad. They don't like toys unless it's on their iPad. Oh no, she likes playing with toys. I don't know if it's like an age thing because she does have a tablet as well. Hi Vivid. She does have a tablet, a Kindle, so she has a decent amount of games on there as well. Everything is free though, so I don't know if it's the difference between pay games or free games, but she likes playing like imaginary things a lot because she has this this ice cream truck toy that I bought for her a while back. She must have only been like 2 or 3 years old, and now that she has better dexterity, she can play with it a little bit more. She has her own little business and she runs a restaurant. She's like, Auntie, what would you like to order? I'm like, I would like to order pancakes. She's like, I'm sorry, we don't sell pancakes. I'm like, how about a hamburger? Sorry, we don't sell that either. What do you sell? She's like, guess. I'm like, I don't think that's how restaurants work. And like her and her brother play very well together too. It's just sometimes being a boy, he'd rather just crash his toy cars, and she's not very interested in just crashing cars. But she also has, I don't know what it's called. They're like these big foam, not mats, but like you can build a fort with them. And so often she'll build a little fort, she'll put blankets on top of it, and then she'll make little rooms based off of the fort. So not too much of an iPad kid. She does like time on the screen, like screen time, but she also just like playing with actual toys too. And then we also got her, oh my gosh, what's it called? Next Playground, I think it was called. So like where like your body is like the remote, and so like you can dance, you can, there's a lot of games on there. Her mom bought the subscription for it, and so I'm trying to make her into a gamer, if you can't tell. It's just her mom drew the line where I can't give her my old Switch, like the Switch 1, because she's like, I want to make sure she pays attention in school, and she she can know her limits, you know? So that's where we're at with her. Uh, and like one of my coworkers, we've been talking a lot about her going on her trip. She's going to be gone for like a month on a trip. She's gonna go to Singapore, and I'm so jealous. I have a trip coming towards the end of summer. They've been kind of talking about it in a cruise towards the end of the year, but I don't have like a big international trip yet this year. And I'm like, I'm itching to go somewhere. I'm itching to get things for a trip and planning a trip. But part of me is just like, oh, I kind of want to save money too. Oh, just fixing my car just costs so much. And so now I'm like, maybe I continue to save money. But she was telling me how one of the flights is like a 12-hour flight, and the other way back, because I think she's going to another place on the way back, it ends up being like a total like 22-hour flight time for her. Obviously with that there ends up being layovers and whatnot, but like 22 hours. But also she's I can't remember if she said first class or business class, and so like she gets to lay down the entire time. So is this just a good old just chatting stream? Yeah. Because I have no energy to do anything other than yap. Part of it's also, hey guys, I'm not dead. I'm still here. Yep, just yapping along. Oh, have I asked you guys how you guys are yet? Cause I'm kind of curious how your week has been too. I've already complained about my week. I want to hear about your guys' week. But anywho, she ended up getting like whatever the first class or business class is, where like you can lay down. She's like, once you no keep going. So she can actually lay down. I've only ever gone like economy. I don't think I've even done like wait, no, have I done preferred? I might have done it once because my friend really wanted to do it and I didn't want to sit alone. I'm currently unemployed, quit my job, and haven't found a new one yet to replace it. Oh, that sounds part of me is just like, that means you can sleep in, but another part of me is just like, oh no, the uncertainty. But another part of me is like, wait, but you're streaming, so then you can go all out on the streaming. I guess it depends on if you want to think positively, or if you want to look at, you know, silver linings, or if you're like me and you're a scaredy cat. I'm such a scaredy cat. I always say like, I'm gonna quit, or I'm gonna retire now, but I'm just all talk. But anyway, she's like, you know what, once you go first class, you can't go back. But I'm just like, with the price tag of first class, I think I can go back. Man, I'm not that big to have to have streaming be my job. But what if you become big? So I need an actual job to make money. Yeah, but in the meantime, when you have the time, you can dedicate it to streaming. You never know. What if I can, a few months down the road, I can be like, I knew about Vivid from months ago. Now, then I could become a clout chaser then. But part of me is just like, maybe I do get first class. Maybe I try it out. Because I think some first class, depending on how strategic you are with it, doesn't necessarily have to like completely break the bank. But there's also like the $12,000, $15,000 like one-way ticket with like Emirates. That's my plan, TBH. Of streaming or of getting first class tickets. If you're gonna plan on doing first class tickets, can you get an extra? Can you donate to moi? Hello, Lian. Hopefully you're doing well and having a wonderful evening tonight. Virtual hug. You got this. Thank you, Nessa. I needed that. Work has been kicking my butt. OG fan. Yeah, work has been kicking my butt. Today was not a great day. And the thing is that sometimes at work, you know a day is supposed to be a bad day, like it's scheduled to be a bad day, and they changed the schedule where today's bad day is gonna be an extra bad day. So I needed that hug. Thank you. Man, I'm not someone that can be made big for two reasons. One, I need to make short form content, and the kicker, I am a guy VTuber. Okay, but like there's also some really good guy VTubers. I'm not gonna name names because like as much as I'll joke about being clout chasing, I'm really scared of stuff like that. But there's some really good ones, and like some companies that are like really well known for their guy VTubers. So you gotta find your crew, you gotta find your community. Not that I can say much because I'd be small too. Want me to kick work back, can you? Can you, please? I'll commission you for it. We just need to keep it hush-hush, okay? Don't tell anyone about the commission. It's just gonna be us that knows, okay? And especially when like work gets this bad and I hear her about her first class ticket and how she is already putting in the order for what she's going to eat and how they get like champagne. I was gonna say free. I mean, like when you pay that much, is it really free? But just hearing her talk about it and how she's gonna get me certain souvenirs, I'm so excited for her. Anyway, need to relax for now, so going into last yapping mode. Okay, have an amazing stream. Thank you, David. And so I'm like, I've been talking to her about traveling, and she really wants to go to Japan back again. She's went once already, and like every single time I've gone to the same exact places because I keep on going with like different people who are, it's also their first time, and like I can't tell them to not go to Tokyo their first time. And so now that she's gone before and I've gone a few times, we're like, maybe we go to other places, to different places. And she's a foodie as well, and so I'm excited. I'm excited. But she's like, you don't have to do first class if you come along with us. But I'm like, no, this is my excuse to do first class. I just need to save up for it. I do have a certain set of skills that makes me a nightmare. Just say the word, you got this. But generally, I'm a pretty nice guy. Virtual hug. It's so funny. I don't know why in my chat it'll say like you got this in virtual hug versus the just showing me the emotes instead. But I'll let you know. I'll give you an address later. You can have stern words with my boss and maybe the people who complain a little too much. But it's okay. I'm hoping we have enough complaints so that we can change back to before. Thank you, Nessa. But also, when we started talking about traveling, there's certain things that you can buy to make traveling a little bit more comfortable. So we're chatting about that as well. Like for like long flights where like you can watch movies and whatnot. Because I think on the shorter flights they'll sell you headphones or like the earbuds, but on the longer flights they just pass it out to everyone. But like sometimes the earbuds just aren't very comfortable. And like obviously if they're passing it out for free, it's not like the most high quality as well. But there's this thing that you can get that plugs into like the earphone jack onto on the plane, and it's Bluetooth, and you can connect your own earbuds or your own headphones to it as well. And like I bought it and now I can't find it. It's like this tiny little like dongle thing and I can't find it, and I don't want to spend another $20 for it, so I'm so annoyed. Just keep on smiling, having that lovely positive energy you have. Ah, you think I have a lovely positive energy, thank you. Oh, that sounds interesting. Yeah. And it was really useful. And the annoying thing is that after I moved, I even like when I unpacked and I put stuff away, I even have like a little drawer dedicated specifically for all my travel stuff. And I went back into there and it's gone. Did you check the back of the couch? It's not there. It's because I moved, I had to like lift everything up, so it's not like it's in like a random dark corner either. Like I've gone through all of my belongings, and so I'm wondering after I moved and I had the thing is that when I moved and I got to my new apartment, my new unit, I remember seeing it. I'm like, oh, this is small, this is really easy to misplace. Oh, I'm gonna put it here so that I don't misplace it. I don't remember where that here is. I thought that here was my little like travel drawer, but it's not there. And so I have no idea where it is. But luckily, I know where the rest of my travel stuff is. Cause like it gets so expensive, like losing things and trying to rebuy things. So sad. F, I'm guessing the F is for fail. It's probably inside a bag somewhere. I think so too, because like there's certain bags that I often use for traveling, and I've gone through all of those. I've gone through them all. I have no idea where it is. And like I kind of know myself where I'm like, ooh, this is something that I could easily lose, so I'm gonna tuck away here. But the thing is that I never remember where I tuck it away. So hopefully before my next big trip I find it, because I really don't want to have to spend money on another one, because it's just so useful. It's not like a necessity, but it's useful. My sister was also talking about getting me a new suitcase, because my carry-on is new enough and functional enough that like I'm fine with that one. But my big check-in suitcase, that one I've had for like 10 years, or like maybe even longer than 10 years. And after one of my first or second trips, they dinged it up pretty badly. There's like a really big dent. The thing is that it never cracked open. It was just a really big dent, but like it never affected how I can use it. So I've been just using the same one, just with a huge dent, for the past 10 years. And she's like, would you like one without a dent? I guess there was a sale recently for this. I can't remember the exact brand of it, but she was like, this is a nice brand. I keep on seeing people talk about it. You want it? New luggage is so nice when the wheels just slide, right? And mine glides enough. It's just when you start going on an incline, it doesn't want to move that much. Wouldn't it be funny that was inside a pocket in one of your pants? I sure hope not, because I'm pretty sure like everything has gone through the wash before. So I'm hoping it got stuck in like a corner of a bag that like I just didn't rummage through enough. Like I don't know if you guys ever use anything like a big tote. So I'm hoping it's somewhere there. Oh, am I lagging? Oh, I don't think I am. So that's a hope. But she was thinking of buying me, I think there was like a set around Memorial Day where it's like a weekender bag and I can't remember if it was the biggest suitcase or one of the smaller ones. Oh, it must have been a bigger one, because it has like a cup holder with it too. But knowing me, even if there's a cup holder, I'll end up just like spilling it, because like it's, you know, the ones where you don't technically like pull behind you. It's the one that kind of just like glides next to you, like rolls next to you. But the thing is that if you go up on an incline, you're gonna have to tip it, because otherwise like it'd be hard to bring it up an incline. I'm just worried I'm gonna put a cup of coffee there and then I'm gonna tip it over and like the whole coffee just spills out. So I'm a little bit worried about it, but the pretty pastels, like I just really love pretty pastel colors. Old versus new is like light and day in my opinion, worth upgrading / replacing. But like technically, other than that dent, it works fine. So a big part of me doesn't want to spend money, but the other part of it is like she doesn't know what to get me for my birthday. Because for the most part, like I don't care for a lot of fancy things. And so like if I need something, I just buy it. So she never knows what to get for me. Well, a cup holder, right? It's so nice, but like knowing me, I'm just gonna like pour coffee throughout the airport. Yeah, that would be a nightmare. Yeah, so I'm a little concerned about that. So I'm still debating whether I tell her to pull the trigger or not. Although that sale already ended, but like with July 4th coming around, I feel like it might go back on sale. But speaking of like buying stuff for trips, so with our girls trip, so it's gonna be me, my sister, and her friend. But like I was roommates with her friend back in the day too. We all roomed together along with like 2 other girls. So like we've known each other for quite a long time. And I even went on a trip with her, I want to say a couple of years ago as well. And whenever I do girls trip, I always like getting PJs for everyone, whether it's kind of matching or like completely matching. And so I've been trying to look at like cute PJs, but like I can't find anything. And depending on the cute PJs, like I don't know how they'll feel if I get like a skimpy little dress. Oh, they'd be like, Lan, do you want to see us in something that looks like lingerie? But like, I like sleeping in dresses. You like buying souvenirs on your trips, Lan? Honestly, not like okay, sometimes if I've never been to a place, then I might get a magnet or two. No, maybe just one magnet for myself. But oftentimes, the souvenirs I usually like to buy are snacks. Like if it's food that you can only get there, like a bag of chips or a ramen or anything that you can only get in that place, I like to bring that back home. So like I've been to Japan 4 times, and honestly after the second time, other than buying stuff from Studio Ghibli, which I always buy a lot of, like I don't know if you guys ever watch Howl's Moving Castle, but Howl's cape that with like the pink and like blue diamond pattern, Studio Ghibli, or like the store, I can't remember the name of their official store, they have this like really like chunky cardigan, so I got that as one of my souvenirs. But like other than stuff like that, like I'd buy mochi to bring home, candies and chips. So those are usually my go-to, just because after a while, especially with me moving around so much, I don't want to have to move the same thing over and over again. Like my sister had gone to Hawaii and for some reason there was this coconut that they dried up and they painted over. They like not encased in resin. Ooh, it might be resin, like a little small thin coat of resin, and they painted it, and the paint isn't that pretty either. But she's like, oh, I'll buy you a coconut. And so every time I move, I freaking have to move that stupid coconut. It's not even a cute coconut. And like she didn't want it in her home, but she's like, oh, cool coconut. And so I try not to buy stuff that ends up just being clutter. Yeah. But so food, so at least it's expendable, it disappears, and I still get a little bit of the experience of that country despite being back home. Lingerie, okay, it's not straight up lingerie, not straight lingerie, but like okay, I'm guessing, I'm assuming you guys don't wear dresses. If you do, let me know, because like when you wear a dress or something, well, I guess I don't wear skirts to sleep, but like dresses, if they're around knee length or like longer than knee length, when you roll around in bed, it starts twisting around you, and like it starts getting like really, really tight, and it's just uncomfortable. So like the best length for me is like I wouldn't say like mini skirt length, maybe a little bit longer than that, but like definitely okay, so like mid-thigh ish, anything above knee and anything that covers my butt. Because like I like to have my shades up and like my curtains out of the way, so I get a lot of extra lighting, so I don't want to like prance around like showing my butt off to the public. So like it's not lingerie because it's not like, even if there is lace, it's not see-through where things should not be see-through, you know? So but like it can be on the shorter side, because there's this one time I bought like, it's just like a tank top, like it covered everything, and she's just like, oh, like my sister's friend, she's like, oh, you want to see me in this? I'm like, see you in what? There's nothing to see. Tokyo Banana. Speaking of Tokyo Banana, so okay, I didn't get any the last time I was there, but they had this promotion where I think there was like a lemon flavor. I think it was new then, but they also had like coffee flavor and like a few other different flavors, and I've never had it before, and I didn't know what flavor was the best, so I kind of got a box of everything, to the point where I ended up getting a free tote, and it's a cute little tote with like little lemons on it, and it says Tokyo Banana, and I after graduating school, I'm like, maybe I would like the finer things in life. Maybe I would like a brand name something something. So I might have used one of my first paychecks to get me a very, very nice something something. It might have been 4 figures. It was on sale. It was on sale. I used my mom's discount. But it was expensive, and honestly, I think I've used it twice. The free tote from Tokyo Banana, I've used every day for the past like 2-3 years. And that is why I realized I should not buy the nicer things in life, like a fancy bag, because I will not care for it and I will not use it. Dried coconut, yeah. I don't know what she was thinking. Well, at least they're yummy, yeah. Tokyo lemon, yeah. I mean, it was. I'm trying to remember what it tasted like, because it still was Tokyo Banana, like lemon flavored. I think like, can't remember if it was the filling. I want to say like the sponge cake part was like lemon flavored, paired with banana. Although I think it would have been better if it was like even like a lemon curd on the inside. 4 figures, yeah. I did that once and never again. Although, okay, I also like that one was not 4 figure. I do have a a card wallet, because I often don't use purses, or like I'll just have like a cheap or free tote that I'll use. But my card holder, I usually always use the same one. So I'm like, oh, maybe I'll get a nicer one. That one was not 4 figures, but it was still a pretty penny. When we went to Japan like a year and a half ago-ish. No, maybe almost 2 years ago. Because the yen was so weak, it ended up being like a pretty good discount. So I ended up getting a fancy card holder. but I honestly, I don't think I really care that much for brand name or like luxury name items. Like, I don't care about like the Hermes Birkin that costs like $30,000. Like, unless you give it to me for free, I don't think I'm gonna care for it. Even if you sell it for $1,000, I don't know if I would even care for it. But yeah, nowadays, I think I just spend money on pretty things for stream. Like the whatchamacallit, the picture I use for like the waiting room, the thumbnail that I have for the stream. Not that I'm saying that was really expensive or that was 4 figures, but like nowadays I think I care more about pretty art than like buying pretty items. But how are you going to flex on the plebs? I am a pleb. The thing is that my mom works in a very fancy place, and oftentimes she'll get, at least back then, nowadays they've been a little bit more strict on what she can use her discount on, but even on stuff like Nike shoes, Hoka's, New Balance, like, I know these aren't like super fancy stuff. I just wear these shoes for work, but like she'll get 33% off of it, and then if there's a sale, it's whatever the sale is plus that 33%. And on certain holidays or certain times of the year, she gets 40% off. So trust me when I said that fancy stuff, I got a discount. Did you visit a lot of temples when you're in Japan? If you don't mind me asking. No, I don't mind. I don't know if I would consider it a lot. So kind of like what I was saying before, I kept on going with people who have never gone before. It was always their first time, or it's been like 10 years or so since they've last gone. And so we would go to a lot of like the main tourist attraction places. So in Tokyo, it was that shrine in, I don't know if I'm saying these names correctly, in Asakusa, I think Shinsoji shrine. There, we went there in Tokyo. I don't think I did any other shrines in Tokyo, but in Kyoto, there's this area where it's like a few streets that kind of zigzag back and forth. Like, what was it, Nintensaka? Sanensaka? Something along those lines. And there is a shrine kind of at the end of each street. Yasaki shrine is one of them. And then it's one of the ones where like if I see it, I'll recognize the name because I've been there 2 or 3 times already. But there, I think I went to like I think I've gone to at least 3 shrines in Kyoto. Although that gold shrine, I haven't gone there, and I really wanted to go there. Also, we did a ryokan near Mount Fuji, like not at Mount Fuji, but it's one of the cities that's close enough where, like, if the clouds are gone, from that ryokan, from the hot springs, you can actually see Mount Fuji. But the sad thing is that that hot spring, one of the hot springs, one of the public ones, or like public as in like for the guests at that ryokan, it was on the rooftop, and so from the rooftop, if it wasn't cloudy, you would end up being able to see Mount Fuji. Sadly, it was really cloudy that day, but like just being able to see out in the city, it was so pretty. It was so nice and green, like with like the mountains and whatnot. It was so pretty. Wow, 30% off. Dang, you can get a lot of amazing deals. Yeah. And that's why I'm like, Mommy, please don't retire. Or at least if you retire, like I think if she works a certain amount of years at that company, like that discount becomes permanent. So I'm like, can you just hold on a little bit longer? Oh, that sounds awesome. It is. And the thing is that it's so funny because every single time I've gone to a hot springs bath, I've only ever gone with a friend, because last time when I went with my parents, we just didn't have enough time to stay at a ryokan. But every time I've gone, it was with a friend. And like the best hot springs are the ones that's like the public one for that hotel, for that ryokan. Because like we would splurge and get like the private hot spring as well for our own room, and so I would just take a bath on my own, and it'd be like an open air bath, right? But if you want the nice view, if you want the nice fancy bath, you do the public one. And so I've seen some of my friends naked, and not that I want to, and like we tried not to look at each other, but the thing is that like I am kind of blind, and so, but like I don't like wearing glasses either, and for hot springs it just get fogged up, and like it'd be bad. I know, don't give me that look. But like, so I don't want to wear my glasses. I barely want to even bring my glasses when I travel, but I can't, like, because I'm blind as a bat without my contacts. I also don't want to be blind in public, being naked in a different country, not knowing my surroundings, and like being around strangers. So like I can't just not see either. And so like I'm like between seeing my friend naked HD versus being scared, blind, and naked. I'd rather accidentally see my friend naked, awkwardly looking away. Yeah, it's just like when you talk to each other, you look at a wall instead. So it was really funny because when I went with my friend, her husband came along too. But obviously, it's not like a co-ed bath, so like we went off on our own. Oh, actually, I think he had tattoos, so I don't think he even used any of the public baths. But anywho, and so like I remembered once we got back to the States, he's like, yeah, you guys are besties. And he said in such a loud voice, you've already seen my wife naked. And both me and his wife was like, shh, can you not? Oop, yeah, oop. I'd be like, yeah, true, I did see her, but like peripheral vision, okay? But like, you don't have to announce to the world that I saw her naked, okay? Only speaking truths. You can speak truths in like a quieter voice. Yeah, tattoos are a big no-no in Japan public spaces. Yeah, I don't have any tattoos, so it's been fine for me. But like even with my friend, she had a small, I think it was like a wrist tattoo or like a small like shoulder tattoo. So I think she ended up putting a little bandage on it. The thing is that I've also heard that people, like a lot of these hot springs baths, like onsens, they don't like just even like the covers. Like they're just like straight up no. And that's why like our rooms had the private baths as well, like the open air baths. It was quite nice. My tattoos are luckily covered. Oh, where are your tattoos? I think I'm too scared to ever get a tattoo. One, because I'm a wimp when it comes to pain, but also because I think I'm the type where like I don't think I can commit to a tattoo. Like I think obviously it would have to be something that is meaningful towards me, especially if I'm not gonna get many tattoos. I can't just go like, ooh, pretty. But I feel like with where I am right now, I don't know if like I will always like that one tattoo, you know? But I wanna do another hot springs bath. But I also don't wanna see another French naked. And also after a while, after I've seen so many friends naked, like I can't keep on like inviting people to go to Japan to do onsens with me, because after a while it's gonna start sounding a little suspicious. Back, arm, and leg, all on the right. Is there a reason you don't have any on the left? Is it like, you know how they do like party, no wait, business up front, party in the back? Is yours business on the left, party on the right? Is there like a specific placement where it's just like it kind of connects your back and your arm, kind of like a big tattoo? Because that's kind of cool. But also that sounds like a lot of pain to get like all that, like a big one. Because I think even for sleeves, you have to do it like part of it one at a time, right? That's some expensive roundabout way to see your friends naked. It's a really expensive way. But I don't want to see anyone else naked. But like the public onsen ones are like the nicest ones. Like the first time I went to an onsen, because they have like different type of waters. One is like, oh, it's good for muscle aches and pains, and this water is for beautifying your skin. So my friend wanted to go to all of them, so we would just dip in, do 5 minutes, and then go to another one. And because we wanted our money's worth, we really wanted our money's worth, like, you know, in those like I don't know about shonen anime, but like in shoujo anime, you know how like the girl is in the bath for so long and she passes out? That was me. That was me. I was about to pass out. I think the thing that I didn't realize is that when they say hot springs, they mean hot, like burning, scalding, I'm gonna die hot. Like you dip your feet in first, you acclimate, and then you slowly actually get into the water. You can't just like dunk, because then like you just cook yourself. And so we went to so many baths, and we wanted to soak as long as possible because we're spending so much money. And I started getting like so dizzy, so lightheaded, because I think it was just so hot that you end up vasodilating, like your vessels just like expand. And I'm pretty sure my blood pressure probably like just like tanked, and I was so dizzy. I'm like chugging water. I'm like, oh no, is this what a shoujo anime heroine feels like? Yeah, big ones really hurt, and you do in sessions. I've heard so many different things. I've heard like some people feel like it feels like a cat licking you. I've never had a cat before. I've never had a cat lick me either. But I guess like their tongues are rough, and so I've heard from my girlfriends that it just feels like a rough lick, minus the wet. But I've heard more so often from guys that it actually really hurts. I've also like seen like a lot of like TikToks where it's just like, oh, you know, the guy versus the girls getting that tattoo, where the girl's like taking a nap versus the guy's like, ah. You didn't go on a winter season trip? No, I didn't. I've only gone, oh, please don't do it, because like a lot of my traveling was kind of restricted to like essentially like school schedule, like summer breaks and then winter breaks. Even after I graduated school, just based off of how work was, there were still a little bit of constraints like that. And so for the first few times I went, it was June, July, and then at one point I went at the end of September, early October, because I'm like, oh, that's like early fall, right? No, I was sweating so bad. The good thing is that like I'm Asian. I don't know if you guys all knew that. I'm Asian, so at least I don't have like I have a gene where we don't stink a lot. But the thing is that I sweat a lot and so easily. So like it was so bad. And like my friend's husband also sweat a lot as well, so we were just dying, dripping, drenched in sweat. And my friend is a freaking lizard. She loves the heat. She does not sweat ever. And she's just like, oh, the heat isn't bad, the humidity isn't bad. And we're just like with the sweat just like dripping down our chins. We're like, what do you mean? Depends on your pain tolerance. I have no pain tolerance. Even like back then, like in like high school and undergrad, if I had a headache or like a stomach ache, I wouldn't take any medications for it. I would just nap it off, which ended up not being a great thing, because the thing is that I trained myself of whenever I'm in pain, I get sleepy. I just really, really want to sleep. Once like I started work and doing like grad school type stuff, I realized like I don't have time for pain. Like if I'm not studying, if I'm not working, I don't want to spend that time in pain. Like I need entertainment. I need to relax. I don't want to be in pain. So now if I have a little bit of a headache, I'll at least pop a little bit of Tylenol. Or like use a heat pack or something. Lower drop, yep. Oh, the humidity was that bad? Yeah, it was like swimming. I think it would go up to like 80% humidity, 90% humidity. And I think it's like I live in a really warm place. Like, well, maybe not really warm, a decently warm place, right? So like when I see 70, 80 degrees, I'm like, that's nothing. That's just like a regular day. But not with 80% humidity. Not with 80% humidity. For some reason, like part of me is like, oh, the temperature is fine. Yet like I am drenched in sweat. Oh no, lizard people. Puts on tinfoil hat. She was. And the thing is that like my friend, she is gorgeous. Like, and I've told her this before too. Like not just face gorgeous, but like body tea, and like her hair, she's trendy, like her clothes, her fashion sense, she's tall, like she is beautiful. If I was into girls like Chef's Kiss, I would have like such a huge crush on her. But like being the nerd, like from when I was like super young, being an introverted nerd, I remember telling her once, I'm like, I'm only friends with you now because I've matured. If this was high school, I would be too intimidated to go near you, to talk to you, to like become your friend. I would admire you from afar. I would see, oh my gosh, her humor is amazing. How wonderful it would be to be your friend, but never approach you because I'd be too scared. She thought I was ridiculous, but I was not. She thought I was joking. Maybe not 100% joking, but she thought I was at least joking a little bit. Nope. I'm too scared. Too much of an introvert. Me too. Sin, are you saying you're also fashionable? With body tea, body goals? You bragging again? Head past the end. But it's okay. It's okay because I've matured. I can have such pretty friends. I don't have to admire from afar. I told her I'll admire from very close up front. Minus the naked part. That was not because I wanted to admire. It was just because of the hot springs bath. I can't say no to a hot springs bath. Cause like spa. Oh my gosh. And then we also all got a massage there too. Cause like it wasn't okay, it wasn't as expensive as what we had in the States, but it was still like a nice ryokan, a nice onsen, so it was still on the pricier side, but it was so nice. What? What's with that emo? What's with that look, huh? Oh, and it's so funny because like this other friend that I'm talking to about going to Japan, I'm like, you sure you don't want to do an onsen with me? And it does sound like I just want to get them naked, but no, I just need a body to be naked with, because like it's kind of it feels weird going naked on your own, because like I would like some solidarity being naked. How did I get into this naked topic? Oh right, I started talking about PJs. Oh, so I also started reading this manhwa, this book, and okay, so it started off because I saw was it a TikTok that I ended up reading this manhwa. It's called, and I actually typed it off to the side here because I knew I was gonna forget it. I'm secretly dating the emperor, but I don't know it. Definitely doesn't sound sus because it's not. Onsens are just really nice, and like I know people say like after a while you just get used to being naked and it's kind of just part of the culture there, but I didn't grow up with like public naked culture, like that sounds weird, like public bath culture, so like I will never get past it, and like that is just so nice. But anyways, the novel, the I'm secretly dating the emperor, but I don't know it. Oh my gosh! So I started reading the manhwa, and it was so cute and fluffy that I ended up reading the novel. And I'm only chapter like 30 something, I think, out of like 200 something. I don't think it's fully translated yet because I don't think there is an official translation for this. It's just like a like fan translate. But the thing is that I get very carried away when I start reading, and when my work week gets bad, I usually try not to find something new to read because when I do, I don't sleep. And so maybe that's also part of the reason why I haven't been playing any games, because like I've been telling myself, no, I'll just read a little bit, or like I won't start the novel, I'll just read another chapter of the manhwa. No, I finished all the chapters the manhwa already has out, and so now I have to start reading the novel. But it's like the type where like the fluffy like type of novel, like the romantic kick your feet type. And so I might have been the creepy person in the elevator at work where I'm just on my phone, I'm just going like I'm just in the corner of the elevator going I'm gonna slowly be known as like the creep at work. Speaking of manga, have you read the Death is the Only Ending of the Villainous? Honestly, I read a lot of like villainous, like isekai type novels that I don't know the titles of anything anymore. Let me see. Death is is the only ending as only ending of the villainous. Oh, I think yeah. Callisto is the like the emperor is the main lead, right? It's where like they like she starts off it's game and how she ended up in like the hard version of the game where like people don't love her immediately. Yeah, that one. Okay, so I read how many chapters did I read? I might have read like the first 10-20 chapters of that manhwa. And like I read spoilers of the manhwa because I think the novel had already ended by that time, so I have a decent amount of spoilers, so I won't say anything because I don't think it's ended. The manhwa I don't think ended yet, right? I think it's close, but I don't think it's actually ended. But it's one of the ones where like I cannot wait for the next chapter, knowing that there's gonna be like a bajillion chapters left and like it's that good. And so like it's one of the ones where I had to let cook for a little while. Yeah, it's still ongoing. Yeah, I'm letting it cook. It needs to be like done. And like sometimes, oh my gosh, which one was it? It's like seducing the villain's dad, or like something about the villain's dad. It's like the heroine has like pink hair. She ends up, oh, she's not, is she a saintess? She ends up being a saintess. Although I think that might be actually pretty big spoilers. But like the emperor has like white hair, and he's supposed to end up marrying one of like the bad characters, and they have a son, and that son ends up being like a bad villain. And so she ends up isekai into the story, and she tries to seduce that villain's dad so that he doesn't have that evil son. Taming the Tyrant, is that the name of it? No, not that one. It's, oh my gosh, let me double check. Flirting with the villain's dad is one of the names, and seduce the villain's father I think is another name for the same one. That one I got hooked into like the first like 5-10 chapters, and I got so hooked into it I couldn't let it cook. And like I had to suffer through the waiting a week for a chapter and then the chapter going by so fast. I think the other one that I accidentally didn't let cook, oh, it has an anime now. It's the one, something about the Duke. Oh my gosh. Oh, Ray Liana. Why Ray Liana ended up at the Duke's mansion? The Duke something? I see. Yeah. And that one, oh my gosh. I remembered, I think, I remembered like I was sleeping and my mom was right next to me because I think we were on a trip, so we were sharing a bed or something. And if I remember correctly, like I was just gonna read a couple of chapters. I think there was only like, I don't know, 15, 20 chapters out at the time. And I ended up reading till like 4 a.m. Actually, wait, no, that's a lie. It must have been past 4 a.m. because I remember starting to hear the birds chirping and the sun coming up. I'm like, oh crap, I need to go to bed. Because like sometimes my parents wake up early and I didn't want my mom to wake up seeing that her daughter next to her never slept. I keep meaning to read that one. But Ray Liana, it's so good. And like the Duke, it's so good. And like the way that he loves her. Like, okay, I mainly get hooked onto the ones where like I really love the main leads, but like I can't read it if I don't love the female lead. Like, and for the Ray Liana one, like she is so cute and like she's so smart and she's so spunky, and like the Duke, he's so dreamy, and the way he takes care of her, the way he loves her. Oh. Have you read the Villainous flips the script? I'm gonna have to like Google all of these because like I'm so bad with titles. Villainous, because I could have sworn that sounds really familiar. Villainous. I think I read only like the first 10-20 chapters of this one because I think I also kind of wanted to let it cook a little bit because in the first 20-ish chapters I think the romance wasn't building up enough for me, and I read it for the romance, for the cute romance, but it had a really strong plot, so I was gonna let that cook a little bit because I think the Villainous flips the script. It's the one where she becomes the auntie, right? She isekais or like goes back in time as the auntie, and her nephew ends up being like, I don't know, an heir to something, right? And I think like from being a bad auntie, she tries to be like a nicer auntie, I think is what it was. And I think the one who ends up being like the guardian for her nephew, I think that was the main lead, right? I remembered wanting to read it more, but I needed the romance to develop more too. So not yet, not enough of that one just yet. I'm working on it. Real gotta be a good catch of a main lead and cool female lead to keep me enticed, right? Because like there's so many of the ones where like the female lead is too much of a pushover or too dumb, and like I can't stand like a super dumb female lead. Like it's one thing if she's kind of like silly cute, I'm fine with that, but if you're just straight up like dumb and like people walk over you, I'm not a big fan of that. You binge read it all. I binge a lot. How about the male lead's lion daughter? Ooh, actually, I don't know if I know that one. Male lead's lion daughter. You know, I was just telling you guys, I haven't been able to sleep that much this week. Because I'm reading too much and now you're giving me more things to read. Oh no, actually no, this one I haven't read. I think I've seen like the cover picture of it, but I actually haven't. And like, you know, the isekai ones where they start off really young, like baby young, and then they grow up like being so loved. Like I actually really like those ones too. It's got like 143 chapters now. Which one? The Lion's Daughter one? You guys, I'm never gonna sleep tonight. No, binging is what makes me feel alive with many manhwas. Same, but so many good ones only have like 16 chapters, 20 chapters. I've been trying to be really good on like waiting for a lot more chapters, but like it's better said than done. No, Villainous flips the script has 143. Oh, that's the one. Ooh, then maybe I can start. Wait, no. I'm already reading this novel. And the thing is that, like, you know, when you first read, like, maybe like the first 5 chapters where like you get the main premise of a story, and then you start getting not to the meat and potatoes yet, but you kind of see where the story, what direction it's heading in. That's kind of when you get hooked. Like, I also know how hooked I'm going to get within those chapters. And sometimes if I know I'm gonna be hooked that much, I delay reading it because I'm like, my next 3 days is going to be just reading. No, like barely any eating, barely any sleeping. Like even today, the past couple of days at work, like obviously at work I have to prioritize work, but you know how I was saying I read in the elevator? You see, the elevators at work is really slow. And it also takes friggin' like half a forever for the elevator to come to my floor to take me to the next floor I want to go to. So even if I only go down 1 floor, I go up 1 floor, I'll still use the elevator. That's like my break time. And I'll use the elevator, and as I'm waiting for it, I'll just read a couple of paragraphs. Because I'm like, I don't know if I can take a break right now, because like we don't actually have break time at work. It's more so of like you take a break when you can, whether that's a minute or like you don't break at all, you don't eat lunch because you have no time. But I'm like, no one's gonna blame me for taking the elevators, right? So even if like for 30 seconds I have to wait for an elevator, I can wait 30 seconds. And so I'm like, I read 2 chapters here, 2 chapters there. It's already bad enough. Like even like walking down the halls, I'll be reading when I walk, because like even throughout like high school, I think I even started it during middle school too, because in middle school there was, have I talked about this before? There was this ticket that you can get for quote being cut reading. And if like, you know, there's nothing to do during class and you pull out a book and you read and the teacher notices, she can give you that ticket. And then at the end of a quarter semester, they end up giving out a prize. Like they'll use it as like a raffle and give a prize. The only time, or one of the only times I've gotten a raffle, like won something, was actually from that. But like I've trained myself to read going up the stairs, maneuvering through like a very busy hallway because of high school. Like my high school had like 3,000 people in there. 3,000, 4,000? So like it was always really crowded, so I trained myself. So even at work now, when I'm walking around, I read. And so the amount of times I've had strangers at work just like yell at me like, look up. I'm like, I'm not gonna run into you. I was so far from you. Why do you care if my face is in my phone or not? Oh no, we're feeding her addiction. You are. But how to get on the main character's flower path is back and updating again. Wait, I don't think I know that one. Wait, let me look. How to get on the main character's flower path. What the heck? The art looks so pretty. And I don't know who the male lead is, but I wanted to sleep tonight. The reason why I wasn't gonna stream a game tonight and we're just yapping today is because I wanted to make sure that I end the stream at a decent hour so I can sleep. What are you doing to me? Oh my gosh, who is that guy? He's so good looking. Other coworkers, this girl's giggling by herself again. It's always the quiet ones. It's so true. And like it's so bad. Cause like the ones that I really like, the ones I get addicted to are like the kick your feet giggling type. Not the spicy rated 18. No, it's the, oh my gosh, he blushed. Oh, don't laugh at me now, so. But okay, so I don't know if you guys really want me to go on my little soapbox on this new one, but like I have to share a little bit. Okay, so this the emperor, the one where like she's dating the emperor. So the premise of the story, wait, let me pull up my where is it? There. Okay. So what is it about? I do, please. Yay. Even if you don't, just let me do this real quick, okay? Well, maybe not real quick. But so she isekai'd into the story, or at least like she was born and raised. Her parents aren't quite noblemen per se. Her mother's side was like I think they held the title of a count. But the thing is that her mom fell in love with her dad, and her dad was kind of a commoner. Like he was a talented enough of a commoner where one of the noblemen kind of like might have kind of adopted him, but I don't think it was like official adopted, so he never got a title. To continue on, yay. So she is not a noble because of that, because her mom ended up cutting ties from her side of the family. She's not considered a noblewoman. Thing is that her auntie, so her mom's sister, is the count. And so, but at work, at school, like she's just known as a commoner. She never talks about her connections to being a noblewoman. And so when she ended up finding out this was a book, like she was already as an adult, I think it was even after school, like she had already finished her academy days. She was already working for the palace in the finance department. And then all of a sudden she remembered she was part of a book and about something about the emperor being a tyrant. So like the OG novel was the emperor had taken back the throne because his uncle had taken the throne from the crown prince that was his dad, and the uncle was a bad guy, and he kind of let the country fall into ruins. And so the emperor, which is our main lead, he ended up taking over the throne again, deposing that emperor, and I think like killing that guy who was like his uncle. And right straight from being the emperor, he went straight to war because the country was already in war and they were losing because they were a big empire, but that emperor was just so bad. And so once he became emperor, he was trying to turn the tide and try to win this war. So for the first 8 years of his reign, he was gone. So the OG book is he comes back and he's a tyrant. He's trying to clean up this corruption, and he is like thorough and mean about it, right? And he falls in love with obviously a saintess. That's the OG novel. Our female lead, she's like, I'm an extra without even a name. I'm not even like noted in the novel. I just work in one of the departments there. And so she's just living her life. And so at her previous life, before she isekai, she was a civil worker, and she overworked and died, like many of our isekai heroines, right? But at this finance place, she's also being overworked, always being overworked. But she's like, this is so better than what it was before. I can handle this. I'll survive. So after a really, really long day of work, she ended up leaving work. And this is after she got like yelled at so much by her boss, who's like kind of a nobleman. And he likes to whip around the fact that he's a noble, right? And so she was like, oh, thank you. I'm off of work. It's overtime. I'm like so late, but I'm leaving work. Life is good. And she sees this girl selling flowers. And the thing is that I might mix it up a little bit because I'm kind of starting to like forget what was part of the novel and what was manhwa, because there's some slight differences between the two. But in the novel, she ended up seeing this girl who has a little flower stall, and like she's trying to get customers, but no one's buying her flowers. So she decides to buy some dahlias. I think the manhwa is actually like freesias, but I think in the novel is dahlias. And so she buys the last batch of those flowers, and here comes our main lead with a robe, so you can't really see his face. You can really just see his nose and his mouth. And so he comes up and he's like, do you have these freesias? Are these dahlias? And the poor girl, the seller's like, I'm sorry, I just sold the last one to this young miss here. And he's like, well, do you know any other place that sells these same flowers? She's like, no, there's no one else that sells it because this is just out of season. I got my batch from this certain part of the country because, you know, their weather has some changes, and so that's why they still have these flowers there, but I'm pretty much the only one selling it. And he looks kind of dejected, and now our female lead, who's right next to him, can actually see his face, and he has like raven black hair, golden eyes, and she is mesmerized. Like, he is stunning, right? And so she like, and he can tell from her gaze, and in the book you kind of get his side of the story as well. And from his perspective, he's always been a pretty boy, at least because like he took over the throne when he was fairly young. I think he was like 17, 18. Like he was a kid, right? And he kind of had that androgynous look as a kid. Like, is he just handsome or pretty, or just like a big combo of both? He's just gorgeous, right? And so he had to have that tough character so that his pretty face won't end up leaving him at a disadvantage. And so when people try to flirt with him, when people try to kind of like do anything kind of romantic with him, he hates it, right? But from her look, he could tell it's not a romantic look. He can sense that it's just pure admiration, like he's art. And so he doesn't feel uncomfortable per se, because it's not like she's trying to like, you know, do the come hither. She's just like, wow, pretty. And so she offers the flowers, and the thing is that these flowers are kind of important to him. These are his dead sister's favorite flowers, and he has finally come back from the war. They're about to do the celebration, like parade ceremony and whatnot, like a day later. So he came back early to visit his sister's grave, and this was her favorite flower. So he's like, thank you so much. How can I repay you? And she's like, it's flowers, I'm fine. And he's like, let me at least get you flowers. And so he bought the whole stall's worth of flowers. So it's like the big heavy basket of flowers. She was gonna say no, but like that poor girl who owned the stall looked so happy, so excited that she couldn't say no. So she took this big basket of flowers. They part ways. The thing is that she is just a little finance office worker at the palace. She's not a big boss. She's not even a noblewoman, right? And so the place that she lives at is kind of close to a cemetery, because who else would want to live next to a cemetery, right? And so the rent there, even though it is kind of near the center of the capital, it's cheaper because it's next to a cemetery. And so she is walking past that direction, and she notices him because it's like part cemetery, part park. She notices him that he's heading towards a certain entrance. Being someone who lives there, she knows which entrances are open and closed. There's some like construction in a certain entrance, and if he goes there, he's gonna have to go all the way around. So being the nice girl that she is, she reaches out, like she says something, she reaches out, like tries to grab his sleeve and say like, hey, you know, you gotta go the other way. But him, being an emperor, you know, who is always on edge, came back from a 8-year-long war and like was at the front lines of the war, and always having to worry about assassins and whatnot. He senses a presence that's reaching out towards him, and so he just reacts. He doesn't think, he just reacts. So he grabs her arm, and he doesn't know it's her. He doesn't know who it is, and so he grabs, and he grabs hard. Immediately, like in his perspective, he could tell by grabbing her arm, she has no muscle mass. Like she's weak. Like the muscles that she has, I think like in the book she called her like pliable. Like she doesn't have any strength. Like whatever strength she has is like purely for survival. And like she's an office worker, like she doesn't need much muscle. And like he could tell immediately, like there is no malice, like there's no like no harm that she was intending, right? There was no ulterior motive of her reaching out. And so he lets go, and she kind of like tries to discreetly pull down her sleeve, because she can already see her hand, or like her wrist is starting to become a little bit red. And so she's just like, oh, I was just gonna tell you like that entrance is closed, you need to go the other way. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. And he notices the bruise already forming, and so he tells her, okay, just go to the temple and say the name Everett Rojas. So she was harmless like a mouse. She is, and she has like such a soft heart too. He even at one point later on says that her heart is like a ripened fruit. Like just think of like a really, really ripe peach where like you push and it gives. And so he starts to see this bruise, and he's like, all right, go to the temple and say Everett Rojas. He doesn't say my name. He just says, say the name Everett Rojas. So in her mind, she already assumes that's his name. Why else would he just give her this name? She's like, okay, yeah, whatever. They part ways. And she's like thinking, she's like, it costs like half of my annual salary to get healed by the temple. Why am I gonna go to a temple for a bruise? So she doesn't. And so they part ways. They don't expect to see each other ever again. But after another long days of work, she ends up going to the park because she's like, I need some therapy. Or it might have been like her day off. And so there are some stray cats at the park. In the novel, or sorry, in the manhwa, one of the cats that, you know, gets along with her a lot, that she feeds some jerky to, that cat ends up running towards him and scratching him. And she's like, oh my gosh, in anyone else's eyes, it looks like I own this cat and my cat just scratched this guy. But like, I'm not going to be able to, like, how am I going to afford paying him back? So he looks at her suspiciously because he's like, why do I keep on seeing this girl? And so again, they part ways. Like, he doesn't even want to talk to her. They part ways, and then they bump into each other again. Because like when she said sorry, he didn't even say anything. He just walked past her, ignored her, and now she's pissed. She's a nice girl, but like, hey, rude. And so later on that day, she went out and she bought a lot of carbs because your girl is stressed. This yapping is going very hard this stream. I know, I thought I was gonna yap an hour, but like, I need to share the story with someone, and I'm sorry, I'm borrowing your ears for it. Anyways, and so she buys her carbs. She's like, I wasn't planning on buying this much, but she bought a ton of bread. Cause girl, same. If I'm stressed, bread, pastas, noodles, same. And so she buys all this bread, and who does she see again? Him. He, I think, was gonna say something to her, but she was just so annoyed that he ignored her last time, and she already had the feeling of like, oh my gosh, he thinks I'm stalking him. So she's so annoyed that when he tries to say something, she just walks straight past through him. No worries, we love hearing you, yeah? Thank you, Nessa. And so she walks past, and again, they go their merry way. They don't expect to see each other again, but guess what? Of course they do. The next time it happens. So at work, her boss, who's always been mean and has been targeting them even more, talks are with the emperor being back. And again, she doesn't know this guy is the emperor yet. With the emperor being back, he has been trying to crack down on corrupt nobles. And there's been talks that this guy might be connected to someone that might be corrupt. And so she has a really, really, really good friend that works with her. They went to academy together. They were roommates together. And so her boss starts targeting her friend as well. Love hearing you talk, but I'm helping a friend, so I'll definitely need to watch the VOD later. Kay! Hope I'll see you later soon. And so her friend ends up having to do extra work because one of the other guys at work is kind of related to a noble as well, and so obviously, you know, they just kind of bully the commoners. And being the good friend that she is, our main female lead is like, here, give me part of your work, I'll help you, otherwise you'll never leave. The next day though, there are a group of knights that come barging in, and they're like, we're arresting so-and-so. There's corrupt people, and someone had a slush fund, and it's relating to this duke, and so they arrest her boss, one of the noble guy, and then her friend. And she's like, wait, is this why they gave her friend that account to work on? Because her friend, that wasn't actually her job, it was that noble guy's job. Is that why? But the thing is that the documents that they're arresting her friends on, that was a document she actually helped her on. It wasn't even her friend that did it, but her friend, being a really good friend, didn't say anything. She got arrested, and she's like, okay, the female lead is like, I need to be smart about this, right? And so instead of telling her, like the knights, like, no, I worked on it, she's like, no, someone needs to get her friend out of there, out of jail, right? And the only person that can do it is her. And so she looks through all the finance records and whatnot. She compiles something, and she's like, I know the intelligence guild, like the secret intelligence guild of the emperor. I know how to get there. So she gets there, and the emperor, that guy, sees that she's there, and he's so surprised, like, because this is gonna be a secret. And so she even gives them like the secret password, and the person who is in charge of this secret guild is the emperor's friend. And so they're trying to question her, how do you know? But she's just like, well, you know, everyone would know this is the emperor's secret guild, because if you're gonna call them blue hawks, like the only person who uses that emblem is the emperor, of course, right? At least based off of just pure deduction, of course, right? And so they're like, darn, we gave it away. And so she does a trade, and she does it very smartly because she has that compilation of all the finance records that would prove her friend's innocence and condemn that corrupt noble. And the guild master's like, well, we already are investigating. None of this is like secret information. If you give us enough time, we'll be able to find this out ourselves. Like, your information isn't worth that much. Oh, now I'm staying on lurk. I've been helping them the whole stream. Ooh, I'm kind of curious what you're helping them with. Because like, you're so multi-talented. What talent are you using this time? And so she ends up, saying to them, well, this information might not be secret. You might be able to figure it out yourself, but this is time sensitive. Because she was the one working on these documents, she was already super familiar with it. And so for her to find out all these errors, it's much faster than trying to familiarize themselves with how each territory works, the West Territory versus the East Territories, and how, how certain things like would change hands, right? She knew the ins and outs because she had to work on it. Emotional support talent. She broke up with a pretty toxic guy. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But at least she broke up with him. Toxic guys are a no-no. And so only yearning main leads. She needs a yearner, okay? And so because of that, she was able to compile this like within a day. And the thing is that to catch this corrupt noble, time is of the essence, because if he knows that they're already on his tracks, he can destroy everything and just blame it on his underlings, right? Yearners are earners. Heck yeah. And so she's like, so I believe this has like it earns its weight in gold. And the thing is that guild master, he knows that that's true. He knows that they also need that, but also he's very impressed that she can bargain like that with him. So he's like, okay, what's your price? So there's a little bit of discrepancy. So part of her price is her friend getting released, and another part of it is that he gets her help to release her friend, like a lawyer having some way to get her friend out, because he's like, I don't have any jurisdiction over getting your friend out. She's like, I don't care, like you don't need to get her out for me because I know she's innocent. I just need you to use this to prove her innocence. And so this whole time though, the emperor overhears everything. And so the guild master is like, okay, you know what? Deal. I will meet with you like next week or in a few days from now, same time, we'll talk about it more. And so she comes back, but the emperor is like, next meeting, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna talk to her. And so the next meeting comes around and she's led through this back alleyway of this guild, because like the front of the guild is this cafe. The thing is that this cafe, because like in this world, coffee is newer to this country. I think it was just introduced 10 years ago. And so the guild master, the coffee that he makes tastes like poison. And she's just like, why is it so sour? Why is it disgusting? Like, I'm Korean, I know coffee. Like this is not like, is this a test? Is this to like be able to request something from the guild I need to prove my worth? And this proves my worth. So like the front of it is a cafe, but he leads her to the back. And all of a sudden, she sees this guy with beautiful golden eyes. She knows this guy. And so she has a moment of like, oh my gosh, hot guy. And he can also tell from her look, she's mesmerized. Like he knows he's handsome, but also he can tell that she's a little bit mesmerized. Storyteller Leanna is great. You may not have my full attention, but you'll always have at least an ear for me. Thank you. And so and no, in the book, he even leans closer to her, already knowing that her eyes glazed over because like she's just appreciating his beauty. He leans even closer to her, and she's just like going into overdrive. She's like, oh my god. And so eventually he pulls back. He's like, okay, amusement time is over, because like even he's feeling amused by her, right? He's not completely unaffected by her. And even during all their past interactions, his view of her is that she is harmless. He even calls her, or like, she reminds him of a noble woman's puppy that is there to be admired and loved. Like, she's just a spoiled pet, or like a spoiled puppy is how he sees her, right? And so, but then he's like, okay, playtime, amusement time is over. I'm an emperor. I need to get back to work. And so he starts questioning her, right? But in order to question her, because they're a guild and he's an emperor, he is very easily suspicious of people. Spoiled puppy? Yeah. He thinks that she's real cute. And so even from the get-go, which is why I love him. And so in order to make her lips a little bit looser, they have this plan, right? He ordered a whiskey and he's like, okay, let's get her a fruit wine. And she's like, oh no, I'm kind of weak to wine. So she's like, no to the wine. He's like, okay, we're a cafe. Would you like some coffee instead? She's like, the coffee? The coffee? She's like, no, I'll take the wine. And so he's like, heck yeah, got her, trapped her, right? The thing is that in the manhwa, there's a certain fruit in there that just makes her a little bit more relaxed, but in the novel it was a truth serum. And so as she's drinking along, he's trying to get more and more information, like how, like, does she know I'm the emperor? Like, how does she know of this guild? Does she actually have connections to her aunt who's the count? Is that how she knows of it? Is she related to the corrupt duke? And you know, there's something else at play, you know? And so as he's trying to get her to talk more, he asked, I can't remember what question he asked, but, and like in his mind, he's like, okay, she's half the size of a big man, because like he just came back from war. He's only used to seeing big military man, right? And he's like, she is half the size, so maybe I should go like half the dose on her. And so, but he asked her this question and she wants to buy time. She doesn't know how to answer it, and the way she buys time is she pours the rest of that bottle of wine into her cup, completely overfilling it, like splashing it, and then chugs it, the entirety of it. And she does it so fast, he doesn't even get the chance to tell her to stop. And so guess what happens? She thinks she's poisoned. Like in her mindset, like all of a sudden she feels palpitations, her heart is racing, but then it feels like it's super super slow. She feels this rush of heat, and all of a sudden though her fingertips feel like ice. And so the first thought is like, oh my gosh, they poisoned me, they're trying to kill me. Before she's even able to like finish her line of thought though, she passes out, and he freaks out. And like he's an emperor, he's been through like the military, like he's been in charge of like this huge military mission, right? Like he does not freak out. But seeing this spoiled puppy in front of him all of a sudden drink something that he gave her in secret, he essentially drugged her, and she passes out. He drugged this poor puppy. And so instead of like ringing for the bell, he just screams out the guild master's name. He's like, Kyle, Kyle. And the thing is that guild master, they grew up together, like they know each other. And so the guild master, hearing the emperor scream for him, he barges in, and then he sees her pass out. And so they rush, they get the guild's doctor, and they're like, she's just like, oh, her constitution is just a little bit different. Like in the manhwa, they say like, oh, she just like overabsorbed this fruit, or like in the novel, it's like, oh, she's just extra sensitive to the truth serum, and she also drank too much as well. And so with her being intoxicated with the truth serum, it made her pass out. And so she slowly wakes up. They're like, okay, by this hour, after the antidote, she should wake up. In the manhwa though, before she passes out, she looks a little drunk, and as he's talking to her, I think he's like, what do you think of me, or what do you know of me? Or I can't remember what the question was, but she looks straight into his eyes, and she's like, even from before, when I first met you, I thought you're so handsome. And like she's kind of blushed because she's intoxicated, And hearing someone straight out tell him to his face that he's so hot, he blushes too. But in the book, that's not how it goes. And so she wakes up, and the second she wakes up, she's like, oh my gosh. Like, she sees both the guild master and the emperor and giggles. Yeah, you see why I'm kicking my feet? And so the second she sees them in the manhwa, she's like, the people who tried to kill me. And she's like, and like she puts her hand to her mouth immediately because she's like, I did not just tell my almost murderers that I knew they're gonna murder me. But then they're like, no, it was an accident. And she's like, you actually tried to kill me. She's like, oh no, why am I saying all these things, right? And so they're like, no, it was actually a truth serum, kind of just like based off of our work. We're kind of suspicious people. We're suspicious of people. Not that we're suspicious people, we're suspicious of people, right? And so she's like, I guess I understand. And so after drugging her, the emperor walks her back home because he's like, I can't let you in a drugged up situation walk home. Like, that's not very gentlemanly of me. Apparently he'll drug her, but you know, the walking back home is not gentlemanly. So he walks her back home, and she's just like, well, this is good enough. I can't let you know where I live. A lady shouldn't let you know where she lives. And so they part ways, and he's already having good feelings about her. And so eventually they're able to save her friend, get her out of the prison. And even like the emperor arranged it so that she can meet her friend in prison. And here she is freaking out, going like, oh no, I hope she's not suffering. I hope they kept their promise to keep her safe. Yeah, no, when she went to visit her friend is like in like a nobleman's room, but with prison bars. And like, it's nice, it's fancy. Like, even when she first comes into the room, she's like, where's my friend? She hears this like noise of like trickling water. She's like, is she just taking a bath? Is she just relaxing here? Like, I'm working my butt off getting all this evidence, and like she's reading, she's napping, she's living the life. I should be the one in prison. And so, oh no, am I lagging? Let me see. Oh no. Let me double check to see if I'm lagging. Can you guys let me know if I am or not? Because it's starting to say I have laggy issues. Let me double check. Oh, I don't think I'm lagging. Let me. Is this my my computer's way of saying that I need to stop stream? Oh, I don't think so. Am I? Just a bit? Oh no. Let me see, because I don't know how I can. Maybe this is just. Maybe this means I should stop. Oh no. Okay, cliffhanger. I'll see you guys next time, and I'll tell you more about the yearning. Okay, I'm gonna just type this out in chat too. Oh. Okay, I think I'm just gonna call it a night though. If my internet's gonna decide to go out on me. But it's so good, Wait, just one more part. I don't know if you guys can even hear this part. But I just need to at least say this part. So there's this part later on where they're starting to get together, and like, he doesn't know whether she knows he's an emperor yet, but the thought of her not liking him as an emperor, he ended up, like, it was even like described in the novel as he looked like a wilted vegetable, thinking that she didn't like the emperor. And like, even the thought of like the guild master saying like, well, you know, maybe she breaks up with you finding out that you're the emperor. Like, she's pretty, she's talented, like she'll find someone, maybe she'll get married and have rabbit-like children, you know, cute little children. And like, he was so angry, he was like clutching, like grabbing the edge of the table, like the desk, and it was just like crumbling in his hands. But okay, I'll shush for now. and then we'll continue where I left off next time. Cause like I need to get this out of my system. So I'm sorry, but next time might be continued story time. Someone's jealous, so jealous. I was so jealous. It is so good. Even in the manhwa. Okay, so this is the manhwa, not the novel. There's a part where she teaches the guild master how to make coffee, because the guild master this whole time has been using spoiled coffee beans. And so after learning that it wasn't his skill, it was just a spoiled coffee beans, he was thanking her, and to thank her, he grabs onto both of her hands, just holding on to it, thanking her, and the emperor is like just staring at her hands being held, like, what the heck? How dare you hold her hand? And like, I get it. In real life, super jealous, super possessive guys, maybe a red flag, but like in manhwa, red's my favorite color. Only in manhwas though. Toxic real guys, don't touch my puppy, exactly. I'll continue it next time. But thank you. Bye everyone. I'll see you guys maybe even tomorrow, maybe around the same time tomorrow. I think I should be able to kind of confirm when I can come back on. I think we'll do something similar with just yapping, kind of chatting a little bit before I go into the story, because like it's a good story. I can't help it. Bye, Leon. This was a fun stream. My brain. I'm thankful you had fun this stream. I know sometimes people don't really care much about like story time, but I really like stories, and I like storytelling too. Thanks for the stream. No, thank you for being here, Ignacio. Thank you, Nasa. Thank you, Sin. I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully 7:30, at the latest 8 p.m. Pacific time. So whatever time it was starting for you guys today, similar time. Bye!